Are you in your 20s and feel like life ain't going the way you thought it would? Listen up, this one's for you. My granddad was beaten in school, couldn't even read and write, and had to leave school at 15 to leave his own country just to find a job. On the other hand, his daughter, or my mother, had a different story. She was beaten a little bit less in school, but could read and write. She also had an opportunity to take part in third level education. With that third level education, she was able to get a degree, and with that degree, doors began to open. Career opportunities, travel opportunities, the world was her oyster. Oh, and did I mention that she bought her first house at 21? That's not a flex as well, that was fairly standard back then. Then I come along, I wasn't beaten in school at all. I could read and write at a very young age. I should now get to reap the rewards of all the generations of the past, all of their sacrifices, making me arguably the luckiest of the 3 generations. But as I got into my early 20s and arguably a little bit wiser, I began to look around and think, some of my friends didn't even apply for third level education because they just couldn't afford it. Some of my friends who did apply for third level education couldn't afford the travel cost included. And a lot of my friends who completed third level education aren't even here anymore. They've had to travel because there's no opportunities. Oh, and by the way, no one has a house. In fact, I know one person my age that has a house, and they're living in fucking Narnia. So what changed? I'll tell you what changed. The whole fucking game. We are no longer playing by the same rules as our predecessors have. Now, this video isn't to go point fingers at him or her or that company or this government and blame them for the current situation. This is simply a video of how to adapt and deal with the current state of affairs of individuals like us in our 20s. The lesson I'm about to share with you came from an older gentleman I was talking to this week, of which hit me with such wisdom I feel guilty keeping it to myself. We were talking in some random cafe and I was explaining how difficult it is to be a 20-year-old in today's day and age. And he turned around and he said, Chris, life is exactly like a flowing river, and in this story, you, my friend, are the fish. The fish's main and only objective is to get to the top of the river to reproduce. But the fish's journey is not a fair journey. That fish has to also compete with hundreds of other fish with the exact same objective that he has. And in that river, the water is flowing at such a high rate, bringing loads of debris like twigs and rocks. The fish had their head down and was swimming tirelessly for hours upon hours, to which then the fish looked up and looked around and realized he was in the exact same position of which he started. However, there were no longer hundreds of fish, there was only a couple. And he concluded his story by saying that fish has 2 choices. He either continues to swim with a chance of making it up the river, or the fish could stop swimming now and guarantee his failure. While that fish continues to choose to swim forward, he always has a chance of success. And then we take that lesson and apply it to the real world. Sometimes in life, showing up every single day, putting your heart and soul into whatever your craft is, just to leave you in the exact same position of which you started in, is in fact surviving. And in this day and age, surviving is winning, because for every day that you stay disciplined, there's 4 or 5 other people that choose to quit. So in the wise words of Dory, just keep swimming.